Hey everybody, this is James from Man Tripping and Men Who Blog, and this is something that I've been working on, an idea that I've been working on for probably 5 years or more, where I wanted to do more stuff that was non-sponsored. Tonight, none of the brands that we're talking about have been sponsored by us, or they've sponsored us rather, and that gives us the freedom to actually talk real about pizza. We've got a lot of other brands we want to talk about in the future that we can do. So we have five awesome guys lined up. We're going to be having them going around the horn talking about the different pizzas that they had. But we broke this thing up into two categories. The first is the favorite national pizza brands. There's been a lot of people saying, "Well, how come you didn't have this guy? Why did you not have that guy?" And the reality is, we just picked these as the top seven based on volume. It was Domino's, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, Papa John's, Papa Murphy's, California Pizza Kitchen, and Marco's Pizza. And the favorite freezer brands candidates were DiGiorno, Red Baron, Jack's, Tombstone, Freschetta, California Pizza Kitchen, Frozen Pizza, and Tony's. And we had some people saying, "Well, what about Totino pizza rolls?" They technically are pizza, and they technically are pretty high sales volume. I did not include those, despite the fact that I know a bunch of you guys asked me why I didn't. And the reason was that they're just not a traditional, round kind of pizza. Although we do love Totinos pizza rolls, and I know a lot of you guys do. We'll probably do a snack food episode at some point in the future. So anyhow, I also want to give we originally had seven guys that were going to do the different pizzas. Unfortunately, one of our blogger friends, Darren, was in a car accident today and is not able to join us, and the other one had a sudden work business thing come up, and he was not able to join us. But Rick came in. Rick on the Rocks, a good friend of mine from way back when, is coming in to to fill in for those guys. Unfortunately, he didn't have the chance to actually check out the pizzas that we were going to be talking about. So, with that being said, I'm going to go in and talk about two pizzas that I had. Let's put this up on the screen here. I had probably two of the most diverse kind of pizzas you can have. At other end of the spectrum, the first one I had was California Pizza Kitchen. And this is actually my second time at California Pizza Kitchen, the first time actually having dined out. This is a carne asada pizza. And clearly California Pizza Kitchen is at the kind of upper end of the premium spectrum. And I thought it was a really good pizza, very creative. They got some great ideas. My only real consideration that I didn't like was the fact that the pizza was really freaking small. For $18, I thought that it was not a great value, but the pizza tasted damn good. So, and the curbside delivery was spectacular. So kudos to them for doing that. We'll see how they ranked in just a few minutes when we do the announcement of the national winners. The completely other end of the spectrum, however, was Tony's Pizza. For $4 or $3.99, and probably you could get that for $1.50 on sale if you're lucky. This pepperoni pizza was actually pretty damn good. A little bit kind of messy when it came out of the oven, but it is what it is. And I think this is a perfect pizza for your beer. You're watching football or basketball coming up for the March Madness. And or in my case, I had it with a Big K ginger ale, because I think that's probably a perfect pairing right there. So I'm excited to see what you guys think about these and the other ones. But let's throw it up to Chris, who did Jack's and Little Caesars.
Hey, thanks, James. I'm Chris Lewis from dadofdivas.com, as well as fatheringtogether.org. I really appreciate being here today, James. It's always fun to be able to try new things, and especially when it's not sponsored, and be able to chat about the things that we like and don't like. And I got to try two kind of pizzas that I'm not going to say are exactly at the same level, because one you go and you buy in a store, and the other one you get in freezer aisle, but a little bit lower on the lower end scale in the sense of how much or how expensive the pizza is. So I loved being able to try Little Caesars. I mean, I've had Little Caesars all my life. I live in Michigan, and Little Caesars is from Michigan. And with that in mind, I kind of knew what to expect. But however, they had a brand new pizza that I tried that had a completely different taste. This is the one actually that you're seeing on the screen right now. This is their pepperoni cheeser.
Mm-hmm.
And with this one, it's got different spices. It's got more cheese. It's got actually fresh mozzarella and toasted Asiago Parmesan crust. So it's, I did that. And then I actually tried out their cheese sticks with pizza. You could do that now and mix that up. And the whole family loved it. But we really liked this cheeser. It was not one that we had ever tried before. It's a little more expensive than what they call the $5 deal, where you walk in and you could just get a plain pepperoni pizza or a cheese pizza or a pepperoni pizza and just walk out the door for $5, which is a great deal, especially if if you have kids and they're having friends over. That's the way to go, because you can definitely feed the masses on a budget. But all in all, we really enjoyed it. It was great. The cheese sticks were amazing. Hadn't had the cheese sticks in a while either. But for the price, I mean, the pepperoni cheeser was $7. So it's still inexpensive for a fresh pizza, that you could take home and just jump right into. The other one that I tried was the frozen, and that's Jack's. Now, we were talking ahead of time. James had Tony's, I had Jack's. I would put the two of those kind of, head to head, in the sense of it equates and it puts me back to my back in college or early days when I was first married, or living as a bachelor, and I needed to save some money, but I liked some pizza. We have a store called Meijer here in Michigan. In Michigan, I mean, right now, I looked just a little bit ago, you can get 4 of these pizzas for $10. So, I mean, great price. And it is very thin. So if you're not a fan of thin pizza, this is not going to be for you, but you can dock this up any way you want. There's a number of different varieties, from vegetarian all the way to your meat lovers. But you can, if you like pepperoni, if you like barbecue sauce, you dump it on there. If you want to put anything extra on it, you can dump it on, before you cook it, and really make it into anything you want to. So for a thin sliced pizza, that you can, and actually Rick was talking about this ahead of time too, before we went live, was that he saw somebody take one of these Jack's pizzas, roll it up, and cut it into stromboli. I never thought about that.
They put it in the air fryer.
Oh, air fryer. So it's a great idea. But I'd never thought about that. So both were great in their own ways. Definitely not the high end. You're paying for what you're paying for. You're paying what you get, right? You're paying for what you get. So it's a thinner, especially on the Jack side, it's a thinner pizza. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, it fills you up, kind of like Tony's. It's a little greasier. Sometimes you might want to sop it up a little bit, because that grease does come out of the oven, but it makes it taste good too. So
that's why you had the square pan. So your kind of interpretation of a halfway across the state Detroit pizza.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they don't make a Detroit style. They don't make the deep dish for Jack's. You can't do that.
Okay. Well, that was awesome, Chris. Who wants to go next? How about Kevin? You ready?
Sure. How you guys doing? I had the Red Baron brick oven pizza as my grocery store frozen pizza. I chose Red Baron because when I was doing PR for the Long Beach Grand Prix, Red Baron was a sponsor and offered everyone to get in one of their biplane rides. And me being the busy PR person at the time, I said, I passed on it. And I'm kicking myself to this day. So somehow I'm trying to make up for it by eating their frozen pizza. It was $3.99 on sale at Rouse or Kroger. And it was a decent frozen pizza. I think all frozen pizza kind of has that frozen pizza kind of taste to it. But it was okay. I was telling James, it's the perfect pizza to have if you just don't feel like cooking, or a bachelor, or don't know how to cook. You're looking for something cheap, and you're looking for something just easy to throw in the oven and do it. And it's okay by that. I certainly, wouldn't hesitate to go get it again as a cheap frozen pizza. I do have some friends that take frozen pizzas and put kind of their own ingredients on it, fresh cheese and some other stuff. And I found that's a really great way to really upgrade these cheap frozen pizzas, is to maybe put some mushrooms on it, or bell peppers, or even your own cheese that you like, even more tomato sauce. I think pizza needs tomato sauce. And you can kind of fix it up a little bit and make it a really much better pizza with any frozen pizza. I actually like the Kroger brand frozen pizza too. That's usually about the same price point. I want to try that the one you just talked about, because Jack's, I've seen it before, but I've never had it before, so I'm gonna have to try that sometime. My to-go pizza was James went and got that. I never heard of him before, and Marco's. I had never heard of him before. I was going to get pizza because I haven't had that since high school. I was curious about it. But Marco's is a very, very good pizza. Matter of fact, I have it right here. And the ingredients are fresh. The bell peppers on it I had like a meat lovers. The bell peppers on it are absolutely completely fresh. And their Italian sausage it must be homemade, because it's got like a little spice, separate flavor to it, different. The crust is just a tad if you were really going to be picky, to me, just a little tad soggy, but or soft, I guess would be more accurate. But it's
to be fair on that, the only Marco's Pizza in San Diego is about 30 minute drive, and so I did have to get that from North County. Trust me, when I would agree that any pizza after sitting for 20 minutes in the car is not going to be perfect, but just wanted to defend Marco's a little bit.
Well, I want to say it's a really, really good pizza, and I would like to have it again. Matter of fact, I got a large because I've got 4 slices left over. That'll be my dinner tonight. It's a very, very good pizza. The ingredients are super fresh. I just tend to like a more crustier dough, just myself, just the way I like it personally. I did put it in the toaster oven to warm it up. And I just think that the crust is just a little soft for my taste, but the ingredients are fresh. The dough tastes good, and it's a really, really good pizza. I would certainly highly recommend it to anyone else.
I second that. I used to get Marco's when I used to live by them, and the ingredients are so fresh. They taste great. I like their Magnifico, which is one of their signature ones. But they've got this other one called the White Cheesy that's actually really good too. But I haven't had it in a long time. Because there's none around me right now. But it definitely was one that the whole family enjoyed when we used to live by it.
I knew it'd be good because James was kind enough to pick it up and deliver it to me. And I opened up the back. He did it in the hatch of his van, and I opened it up, and I could smell how good the pizza smelled in there. And
I will say, and James knows, being from Chicago, that sliced sausage on that Marco's pizza, that completely looked like the real deal. It
was a total change. By the way, Chicago, you guys would know my friend went through during the early COVID days ordering different foods from places around the country. And one he's from Chicago, was the mind-blowing pizza, and their sausage they make on their own. It starts with an L. You guys know what that place is? Not Lucy's.
Lou Malnati's?
That might be it.
James and I would probably.
Yeah. I actually have they sent me a couple Lou Malnati's pizzas and a beef kit. But I didn't. The reality is there's a lot of damn good pizza out there, and beef, like Italian beef.
Okay.
Portillo's.
Okay.
Anyhow, there's a lot of really good pizzas out there. We just limited this to ones that were available nationally.
I just want to throw that out there.
I talked to the folks at Aldi, and they're like, "We have great frozen pizza," and they're absolutely fucking right. Pardon my language. They just went by sponsorship rates, but they're absolutely right. Aldi has phenomenal frozen pizza.
They do,
and it's also damn cheap. But we had to limit it to somewhere, so we just picked the ones we did. But that's kind of the fun of pizza. I'd love to. Maybe we should do not restaurant. Maybe we should do a refrigerated / frozen grocery store pizza and do a face off with like Vaughn's Pavilions versus Aldi versus HEB. You've got to throw the little Texas down there.
What's the place, James? What's the place out of Chicago that's like they do a frozen pizza? I'll have to look it up. It's all over down here in South Florida.
That place in Chicago that does pizza.
No, it does. They only do frozen pizza in South Florida. They in Chicago they actually have stores.
Yeah.
then they ship the
Well,
frozen pizza out here to us.
Lou Malnati's does a really good job with the frozen pizzas, and it comes in a little metal pie tin. He put it in the oven, and
That's the
all
one.
that.
That's the one he got. It was frozen. It was the cheese was mind blowing, but they make their own sausage and whatever they do to it. And he said you got to get the sausage, and that was a deep dish pizza, a lot of sauce on it, and that pizza was fantastic.
Sounded like you were saying the Illuminati. And I'm like, Illuminati?
The
What?
Illuminati's pizza.
They make a great pie.
It starts with an L and
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of it.
So, just because of the fact that we obviously are guys talking about pizza, there had to be somebody that brought women into it. So, I'm not even sure what this means, Dave.
Yeah,
Wait, do men like different pizza than women? I think there's probably, to be honest, I think there probably is some different things that guys like about pizza. But let's talk about that in the second half when we talk about our thoughts on the actual winners. Like I said, unfortunately, Darren was not able to join us, so I'm going to be just kind of going through his. He had Papa Murphy's and DiGiorno. If somebody wants to talk about DiGiorno, they can. I don't have pictures of DiGiorno, but I think at this point, honestly, if you're an American man and you've never had DiGiorno pizza, then you've been doing something wrong. And I know actually one of you guys has never had DiGiorno pizza, if I recall correctly from our conversation. So anyhow, Papa Murphy's is a different kind of concept than the traditional takeout pizza because they prepare it themselves and then you bake it at home. They may be able to do that, cook it in there as well, but I'm not entirely sure. So let's see if I can, here's a picture of them actually making it. So they make it there, and then this should be a video, or that's actually what it looks like when it's wrapped up.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, if you've never had it, I mean, I highly recommend it. I mean, my kids used to love getting it when we lived by one, and it is super fresh.
So I wish they had one here because I would love to check it out. Unfortunately, they don't have it here in San Diego, but you know what? We have palm trees and sand.
That looked really good the way they were wrapping stuff.
Well, you actually brought up a good point because some of the grocery stores have pizzas like that where they make them themselves and they're really cheap. They're like $5, and you take them home and heat them up, and they're better than the frozen pizzas. My issue with it, because I tend to like a thin crust, the dough to meat ratio is too far in favor of the dough, so you get a lot of dough. But those are really better, I found, than going in and getting a frozen pizza because I think they're made at the store individually.
Yeah, no, our stores here in Texas at HEB, they actually have the take and bakes like that. But they also have like a really good actual pizza bar where you can walk up and order a fresh baked pizza. You wait like 5-10 minutes, and they're like $10 for a large pizza. So they're really good, fresh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like 3 options, and you walk out with it done. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, James, I was thinking about home run in pizza.
Oh yeah. That's so. My producer was actually commenting on that. I didn't put it up there because it's weird having me write comments to myself. But just breaking the illusion that it's just me doing everything. My producer, also known as my wife, loves to comment.
All the people over there at Man Tripping Central.
and also Connie's Pizza in Chicago too is a favorite by some. Anyhow, so. Does anybody want to give a shout out to DiGiorno before we move on to Mike to talk about Tombstone and Pizza Hut?
I mean, DiGiorno is kind of a classic. I think everybody's had a DiGiorno. Actually, probably one of the higher end, I guess, frozen pizzas you would say. I mean, it's like usually like $6 or $7, I think, for DiGiorno. So
that's out of my budget. I'm sorry.
The $2.50 to $4 pizzas, but yeah, it's usually pretty good. I think the thing that DiGiorno has too is they have a lot more choices. They have a lot of like stuffed crust and thin crust and different varieties than kind of just your regular run of the mill sausage, pepperoni, cheese. So yeah, I think DiGiorno is probably one of the higher end ones. Yeah, they usually have the thicker crust.
Yeah, thicker crust usually.
And DiGiorno has a new croissant crust pizza that's actually the bomb. It's actually really, really good.
I always loved their stuffed crust. I mean, I thought that, for a stuffed crust pizza, you don't always get a good one when it's frozen, and DiGiorno always delivered. For me, anyways, when I
delivery.
Is it DiGiorno or the delivery?
It is, yeah. Exactly.
Well, if you watch any of the football games, then you've seen DiGiorno commercials like out the yin yang. Particularly now, they're really pushing that the new crust. And with Super Bowl coming up, I thought your timing for this show, James, is impeccable because a lot of people might still have to be at home to watch it. And
and March Madness is coming up too.
And let me just say that the University of Alabama is undefeated in conference play and is a projected number 2 seed. So us guys have to talk a little sports here too, right?
What about Florida State?
What?
I'm a Florida State fan.
Florida State. Oh,
That's too bad.
Really?
Well, Rick is in the seat of football for next week, though. And it's gonna be weird down there because normally Super Bowl week should be just absolutely
you have no
insanity.
idea. Monday nights, no lie. I don't know if you knew this. The WWE has rented. I live
that far?
100 yards from the baseball stadium in Tampa Bay.
Oh, nice.
WWE has rented the space for a couple of years. It's now the new home of the WWE. They're blowing stuff up in the back parking lot on Monday night for WWE Raw.
Apparently, things are different in Florida. Because in California, it's like, woohoo, we can go eat our beer outside or drink our beer outside. And you're like, hold my beer, I got WWE inside.
Blowing crap up with their 20. Yeah, James called this. Like, this is no lie. I can show you the message. James was like, oh, so the Lightning, the Bucks, and the baseball team, the Rays are going to, like, win everything? I'm like, there's not a chance in hell they're even going to get close.
Well, you heard it. You heard it here first. Tampa is now the number 1 sports city in the country. Okay, so anyhow, Dave Taylor.
Tuscaloosa. I argue Tuscaloosa. Alabama's got 12 of its teams ranked in the top 10 in various sports, or the top 15 in various sports. Tuscaloosa is the sports capital of the world right now, folks, including the reigning national champion.
And yet Alabama has not won. I don't want to do that symbol because people might get the wrong idea, but not one professional sports team or top tier professional sports team. But anyhow, because I'm the moderator, I can go and just overrule anything you say, Kevin.
If I get put on mute for talking about Alabama.
Oh, what happened to your mic there, Kevin?
Let's talk about the Padres.
So, yeah, anyhow, so Dave asked, bonus question, who gets frozen pizza and then adds their own toppings and extra cheese? And I know a couple of you guys talked about that earlier. To be honest, I've never done that because usually if I'm just eating, kind of cheap freezer pizza, it is what it is. And if I'm eating the other stuff, it is what it is. But I have made my own pizza.
Yeah, sometimes I'll add barbecue sauce to frozen pizza.
Yeah, do they even still make, like, remember those Boboli pizzas where you get, like, the crust and, like,
oh,
the
yeah,
they do.
and stuff?
Yeah, you still buy the crust like that for Boboli.
I remember when I was a kid, the Boboli was, like, the thing, yeah.
I looked at that the other day. It was like $10 for, like, a medium size, just for the dough. And I thought that was ridiculous.
It's expensive, yeah.
What we do is we take like dinner roll dough or bread dough and just stick it in a pan and just slather it with sauce and cheese and stuff on top. I don't know if that's a Michigan thing that my wife inherited, but that's basically what a Detroit style pizza is. It's
I always ask for extra sauce, and I always have mushrooms. 49 cents in a can to add to my pizza.
Why am I not shocked that you would have mushrooms?
I literally eat them out of the can sometimes. I love mushrooms.
I was going to say, James, I thought you were going to say that Detroit pizza was everything in the kitchen sink, but
I feel like there's a joke there that it's just gone way over my head. But anyhow, so enough dead air. Contrary to even my wife's knowledge, like I don't know everything. Anyhow, okay, and those of you who are married decided not to laugh either, so that was really smart of you guys. But I'm going to pay for that later. So, Mike, you had Tombstone and Pizza Hut. So let's. I know you weren't able to get pictures of the Tombstone. That sounds really weird out of context, but you did really like, and I think it's a great flavor. So the Tombstone Diablo.
Yeah, Tombstone Diablo. It's one of their premium pizzas. So it's not like $3.50. It's like $4.50.
Big spender.
Yeah, kind of a cool combo flavor they had. I think it's maybe a Texas or certain market thing because I'd never seen it anywhere else before. But yeah, super cool. I mean, good flavor overall. Not a bad pizza for like $4.50. But yeah, it's kind of like a high school throwback. I remember when I was a kid, we used to have like either Tombstone or another frozen pizza. Like they were just kind of always in stock at the house, so it was kind of just a regular thing. You throw them in the oven. But yeah, I was surprised with how good it was. I mean, the flavor was good. It was different than what I'd expected, and in most of the like the traditional frozen pizzas, usually just get cheese or pepperoni. But yeah, it's kind of cool to see some different flavors in the lower tier category, I guess. And then Pizza Hut. So Pizza Hut for me is like, it's kind of a weird thing. It's one of my favorite pizzas, even though it's terrible. It's super greasy. It's always consistently super greasy. But for me, I've lived overseas in so many different places, and Pizza Hut was one of those consistent things I could get anywhere. Nicaragua or Indonesia or Japan, wherever it was, like Pizza Hut was always there. It was always kind of the same. And it was one of those places I would always go when I would like miss American food or like miss home food. So like after a week or two of eating like red beans and rice in the jungle, I'd go into Managua and get myself a pizza at Pizza Hut. I think the fun thing about Pizza Hut too is like overseas, it's like a fancy sit down restaurant. So it was always kind of fun to go in and like have like linen napkins and be seated at a Pizza Hut and then still have basically the same menu.
Is it any good? Because I haven't had it since high school. That we used to go there in high school, but who knows? You didn't know what was going on then.
It's probably exactly the same because it's basically the most consistent pizza I've had, like literally anywhere, like globally. It is always the same. Extra greasy.
No matter where you were, and you said Nicaragua, Indonesia, it was just consistent.
Always the same. The only thing that might change is some of the menu options, but for the most part, it was just the exact same cheese or pepperoni or whatever pizza. I mean, that was pretty impressive. So
that's for a company to be able to do that on a worldwide level. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I wouldn't say it's like a super great pizza, but I think like a large pizza was like $10.99 delivered plus the tip. So it's pretty darn cheap.
Well, plus you have and this is probably a victim of COVID as well, but you also have the Pizza Hut buffets.
Yeah, I was just going to say that
for like $5 you can get a salad pizza, the cinnamon sticks, and
Well, unfortunately, Pizza Hut announced they're closing all down their actual dine-in restaurants in the U.S. So,
shit!
I actually was just on a road trip and stopped off and I was in some little tiny town in West Texas, and there was a Pizza Hut there, so that's what I got for dinner that night. And they still had the building there, but they were only doing pickup and drive-through. They had all the whole showroom or the dining room area closed down. So I talked to the guy there, and he said, yeah, they're basically moving forward going to be doing more like the drive-through, kind of like Domino's has been doing, where you have like the drive-through the pop-up shop, smaller restaurants and pickup and delivery only. So the kind of old school go and sit down and have pizza restaurants are kind of gone. I mean, I remember as a kid, you guys, I don't know if they have Shakey's where you guys were at. When I was a kid,
nothing to mention.
We had Shakey's, and that was Shakey's and Pizza Hut and Round Table were like the three that we'd kind of consistently go to that had like the full arcade and all the fun stuff. But yeah, that's kind of a thing of the past.
I think Mike, you and I have actually been to a Shakey's together.
We have been to that the one in Palm Springs. Yeah.
Okay. When you were a kid, didn't you gauge how good a pizza joint was by the video game selection? I did.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Totally.
The ones with the tickets with the prizes when you're really little, you can get like 1,000 tickets to get a kazoo or something.
I used to go. I don't know if anybody's ever spent any time in Oklahoma. I went to a place. There's a place called Mazio's Pizza in Oklahoma. It's all over Oklahoma. I don't know. It might be North Texas. But they always had the arcades, right? They had one of those old school pole position games.
Oh, yeah.
Kid, I played that game, no lie, for 5 years. At Moz, I would go after youth group every Sunday. We would go there and we'd eat Mazio's pizza. And then when I started being able to go off campus when I was a kid, I would go to Mazio's and have the salad bar and eat Mazio's pizza and play the video games because best pizza, best video games, and you're 16 years old.
Ultimately, definitely something the next generation is not going to experience is the Pizza Hut, Chuck E. Cheese, Round Table, Shakey's video game arcade.
No animatronic rats.
Yeah, no animatronic rats feeding you pizza.
Oh man. I think we'll move on. This is a bad transition considering how kind of politicized Papa John's has been. But from talking about rats to Papa John's, and just to be clear, I think Sujeet and I share the opinion that Papa John's actually some pretty damn good pizza. But I'll let Sujeet talk more about his two pizzas. He had Papa John's and can't remember what the other one was.
California Pizza Kitchen frozen. So I started out. I've been seeing these commercials for the last couple weeks for the epic stuffed crust Papa John's pizza with that good old cheese oozing out of the crust. So I was like, I gotta go try this, and it really delivered. I kind of knew something was up when I picked up the box, and it just had some weight to it. Oops, that's the wrong picture. But so it tastes exactly like a typical Papa John's pizza that you'd expect, with that extra cheese. So, every other bite, I dip it in the garlic sauce and get a little extra, cheesy sweetness. And, it was pretty solid. I mean, they're doing a promo right now. I think it's like $12 for a large one topping. So not too terrible. As you can see from that box, super greasy. But, that's kind of what you expect from Papa John's. And, it weighed me down. I had a couple slices for lunch, and then I didn't really want dinner. Hey, there you go, Rick. It's all about the garlic sauce.
Yeah, the garlic sauce is kind of like an extra bonus thing for Papa John's. Like it kind of puts them in a different league because they've got a little extra secret weapon there with the garlic dipping sauce
and the pepper.
Yeah, unfair advantage.
But I do like the fact that Papa John's actually builds it into the. Here, I'll just pop it up in case anybody hasn't had Papa John's recently.
Not in a long time.
They've actually got the little cup holder.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of places will put the cup in there, but they don't actually have it. It's anchored. But then the thing that really separates Papa John's, I think, is the pepper. Like I freaking love those peppers for some reason.
I don't know. I'm not a pepper guy, so it always just goes in the garbage.
It gives it. And I used to date a girl in college. That was the first time I ever had Papa John's pizza, and she did this. And she dribbled it all over the pizza. I was like, that's disgusting. I'm not going to eat pizza. And she was like, no, this is the way you're supposed to because it spices it up. And she goes, here, try it. And I was like, oh, wow. It was really good. The pepper made it, really.
Yeah, I was going to say I miss Papa John's. I live in a college town, or I read just outside of a college town, and there is no Papa John's anywhere in mid-Michigan.
How is that possible?
I know. I live 10, 15 minutes down the road from Michigan State University. No Papa John's.
Do you have Gumby's?
No.
How about Howie's?
Oh my God, Gumby's Pizza back in college?
Wait.
I know.
How do you know Gumby's?
How do I know Gumby's? Because I bought like half their stock because the amount of pizza I bought in college.
Are you kidding me?
With pokey sticks.
Yeah, I know. I used to buy that crap like 4 times a week when I lived in Tallahassee. I lived on Gumby's Pizza.
I think they just have locations
never
at
met
different.
anyone outside of Tallahassee that knew what Gumby's was.
Well, they had it at Penn State. Actually, they had it at 2 campuses at Penn State. They had it at Altoona, and they had it at main campus.
Holy crap.
But anyhow.
I love Gumby's.
I don't know how good Gumby's was because I was never completely sober when I had it.
I only ate it after 2 a.m.
So, but anyhow, your other pizza, CPK, I was kind of interesting to look at the comparison between the stuff that I had from CPK and that you had. I like the fact that's actually in looks like it's a regular kind of takeout box.
No, that's just kind of the picture. It's a little box, and it's a good sized pizza. On the frozen pizza scale, it's on the upper end, it's like $6, $6.50, something like that. And I think like you and me were talking about, James, they don't really do normal flavors. This is barbecue chicken, which is actually really freaking awesome. As you'll see, I took all the red onions off because I kind of can't stand red onions, which is a very painful process for a frozen pizza. But, the end result is really good. It's super thin and crispy. There's plenty of chicken. There's a nice barbecue flavor. If there's not enough sauce, you can add your own. This is kind of my go-to when I don't want my go-to is Tombstone, but when I want something a little fancier, I always go and get the CPK. I really dig it. And then, like you and me were talking about, James, you go to a actual California pizza kitchen and the pizza's like, $18, $20. This is, $6 and 20 minutes in the oven and you're done.
Was I wrong looking? That was a lot of chicken.
Yeah, that's a ton of
a frozen pizza.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that looked like almost like a half a pound of like chicken on that pizza. That looked fantastic. To me.
Yeah, there was not a single bite I got that didn't have a piece of chicken in there.
How
that
large-
was only like $6 or $7.
Yeah, I think.
How large was it?
I don't know, like probably like your Jack's pizza.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, they're the same size, and I like them because I like the crust. I like the thin, crispy crust.
Yeah.
And now maybe they have different crusts now, but they have that real thin, crispy crust, and I do like those. And sometimes they're on sale for $5.99. I think they're normally $7 or $8 or $9. But sometimes you can find them on sale for like $5.99, and that's usually when I'll pick one up because they are to cut above some of the other ones, the Red Barons and stuff.
For sure.
I think I might try that then because that's. Honestly, my go-to is DiGiorno, but that was pretty good.
I'm gonna try that pizza.
Yeah.
That barbecue chicken pizza looks good.
It does.
That was their signature pizza item when they first came out with California Pizza Kitchen because they were doing these different pizzas. It's California healthy. That's the thin, super thin crust. And they came out with that barbecue chicken. So
I like that nice cracker thin crust when they do it right. If they do it right, it's spot on. It's really good.
I wish that somebody would do like the classic Brooklyn, where you just hold the jumbo slice where you fold it in half and like drip the oil into your mouth and not the healthiest thing, but until someone's figured out how to perfect that from a freezer pizza, there will always be a market for pizzerias. Just a big jumbo, the massive jumbo slice. Well, anyhow, I'm going to move on to the last two that we had. Unfortunately, like I said, Tom wasn't able to be here, so he had Freschetta and he had Domino's, and I think pretty much. Again, I think one of you guys said they'd never been to Domino's.
I've had Freschetta. I've never had. I'm not a Domino's guy, but
so I think everybody knows Domino's at this point. So I don't know that we need to say anything more about Domino's besides the fact that I think that the the $7 mediums or whatever. Like I think it's they have a great deal. They've nailed delivery, and they've really done a great job come back on the quality of the pizza. But I think that's about all we need to say.
What I'll say about Domino's, most people just get their regular generic pizza. They have a banging thin crust pizza. And a really good pan pizza. I think the pan pizza is like $1 more or something, but nobody ever tries them, and they're fantastic. So if you haven't tried it and you're into thin crust or pan, give it a shot.
Cool, I'll have to check it out. I usually just do the pepperoni and onions.
Is it still 30 minutes or it's free? Remember that? And the drivers are crashing all over the place trying to get there in 30 minutes.
I missed the Noid, but I think that they ran into some issues legally with the 30 minutes in car crashes and stuff. And then Tom's other one was Freschetta, and I think Rick, you said you've had Freschetta. I haven't had Freschetta in years, so I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are.
You know what? I think for a frozen pizza, they're really good. They have a really good crust. There's one in particular. They have a spinach. It's like a spinach artichoke pizza, like a white pie. Like it doesn't have a red sauce on it. That's really good. And then they have a crust. It's like a garlic bread crust. But when you cook it, it's not like super like bready, like overwhelming. Like when you get, it's like that much pizza and like that much crust, which I hate. I despise. And I think it's a really good frozen pie, me personally. So.
Yeah, it's interesting that let's see if I can throw this up here. The new logo. I feel like the logo used to be more traditional, but the logo now is almost feminine. But let me see if I can figure out how to drink. There it is. and I will throw this up here. So there you go. So it definitely is screaming fresh, but I feel like it's just kind of that flat, almost too young to. As a guy, I'd find it hard to look at the retail shelf and grab that pizza.
It actually makes me think of like artisanal pizza, right? And when you look at this, it's kind of has that flair for, kind of the artisanal side instead of kind of the, off the shelf.
Yeah, I can't
I guess-
recall
I
ever
guess
even
that's fair.
seeing it, so I've never seen it. So couldn't
I
tell
gotta
you.
be honest. If I saw that compared to Sujeet's the barbecue chicken pizza, I'd jump on the barbecue chicken pizza in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Like the two of them look so drastically different as far as like I think fresh. Like I think to me it's like they're playing fresh. It's not really fresh, but
What do you guys go for when you go to frozen pizza? Do you do strictly price point? What's on sale? I mean, I took a couple of pictures of the frozen pizza section of our local Rouse. And I mean, there must be 200 pizzas in there. I mean, it's, and DiGiorno has like 50 different crusts or something. I don't know how you choose. What do you guys think about, when you go get a frozen pizza, what are you looking for?
So I know for me, like when the quarantine first started and, I was kind of in lockdown mode. So I just would try different frozen pizzas, and I've tried everything. I like DiGiorno, Tombstone. I'll go real cheap with like the Elios, like the stuff I grew up with. That's like those little rectangular things. And then I went to the opposite extreme. I tried like that cauliflower power, which is like a cauliflower based thing, which was kind of gross, but I wanted to try it. I'm going to try to be healthy. That didn't really work out, but yeah, I tried Newman's Own. I tried everything.
good call.
Yeah.
That was Newman's Own.
Certain ones are good. And then I was telling James actually offline last week, I tried their buffalo chicken pizza, and that was a huge mistake. It doesn't even have like tomato sauce. It's got like hot sauce and chicken. It was bad.
Oh wow.
Make note, no buffalo chicken.
Well, I have the slide up to queue for the to share the results of our survey. We did a survey with just over 1,000 men, asking what their favorite frozen pizza brand was, and let's just before I announce this, like let's go around the horn. What would Rick? What and then Mike and Chris and Kevin and Sujeet. What would your pick be for your favorite frozen pizza brand from the ones that we had today?
I'm probably going to have to go with Tombstone, to be completely honest with you. I think Tombstone to me is a stand. It's like the gold standard. It's always is the way it is. It's just what you're going to get.
How about you, Mike?
I would go California pizza. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, I would say for me, I think DiGiorno is probably going to come out on top just because of the name recognition. They do a ton of advertising. It's probably just something that most people kind of default go to, and they do have usually a huge presence in the shelf, because they have so many options. They usually take up quite a bit more space the other ones. So I'm going to guess DiGiorno is probably going to be the top tier one for the frozen pizza.
Chris?
I would echo that. I tend to think that DiGiorno will probably take it as well, for the same reasons that you said. I mean, I think that it's got a huge footprint in pretty much every grocery store you go into. It tastes good too. I mean, it's been around for a long time. I mean, I think all of us, the jingle. It's
DiGiorno or delivery.
Yeah.
That's a great advertising slogan, by the way.
Yep.
Really, really solid and strong.
Yep.
So how about you, Kevin? What do you think? I guess I kind of messed this around the horn because I'm asking two different questions. But which is your pick?
Well, my pick would be California Pizza Kitchen. It's just, I like the thin crust, and I like I know their ingredients are good and plentiful. I think DiGiorno, just because of the advertising, is going to come out number one in a national poll.
Yeah. Sujeet?
I'm with Rick. I'm a Tombstone guy, but like everyone else here, I think DiGiorno's just got the reputation, so I think they're going to probably come out on top.
Yeah, and I'm obviously looking at the results, so I'm slightly biased here and informed, but I would go with DiGiorno. It's probably my favorite from an overall quality perspective. But after seeing your California Pizza Kitchen one, Sujeet, I would be definitely tempted to check that out. And certainly from a marketing perspective, I mean, DiGiorno just is spending the bucks. So let's throw this up there and walk through the winners. So hopefully you guys can see that. I should have done this slide a little bit bigger. So, like I said, we asked 1,000 men. We used Google surveys to conduct this thing. We did it relatively distributed evenly across the nation, and then they weighted it based on number of survey results based on the population. So, DiGiorno was clearly the big winner here, with 31.5% of the respondents asking. But I have the full data breakdowns with the ages and the states and regions. And we'll be releasing a press release tomorrow to talk about some of that breakdown, because certainly there was regional distribution here as well. But DiGiorno across all the regions, all the ages, was the big daddy, followed by Tombstone at 17.2, Red Baron at 13.8, California Pizza Kitchen at 12.2, Tony's at 9, Jack's at 8.8, and that's really a tie there, and Freschetta at 7.5. Was there any surprises there from you guys? Did you guys surprised that anybody didn't score better?
That's kind of how I would expect it to go.
Yeah, I think nationally the most recognizable brands are going to be the ones that are going to have the highest percentage, just because people know it and they're comfortable with it.
I thought Tombstone possibly because it was a little bit cheaper. The price point's a little bit different.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at how equal Tony's and Jack's were, because I would put them just fundamentally equal. But the overall thing that really amazed me is how relatively flat the curve was. That even Jack's, Tony's, and Freschetta together is, I'm not a great math person, but roughly 25-26% of the market still preferred those over a quantifiably, well, I guess Freschetta's probably up there with quality wise with DiGiorno and California Pizza Kitchen, but there were still people who it wasn't like one of them's like, this is terrible. And so I think that really says a lot to the fact that the frozen pizza market may not be completely judging on quantifiable quality, but people kind of equate it with what they remember from being a kid or what they want to watch, just kind of with a can of beer and watching some sports. So it's an interesting.
I bet if you did California only, California Pizza Kitchen would be 40 or something percent. Just because it's the name. Hey, we're cool, California, but it was also people who've lived here for a while know it as the original California healthy pizza. So I think the regions probably play a bit into it as well.
Well, let's see here.
No, I think I agree with James a little bit. Like a lot of the stuff that getting older, like stuff that I want to eat. Like I think about stuff that I ate when I was a kid, and like I want to have that feeling again. So, it's weird. It's like I literally, this is the stupidest thing, but my granddad used to make sausage gravy. I taught myself how to make sausage gravy because it's a comfort food. It takes me back to my childhood. I think pizza is the same way. Pizza is like one of those foods, like you can eat, like there's a certain, a slice, whatever it might be, that takes you back to a moment in time that just is, fantastic.
Now, Kevin, this is not just California. This is Western region, which would be
okay. Close enough.
But the results are relatively consistent. The only difference here, I think, is that people in the West may not have preferred Tony's and Jack's over Freschetta. That they're essentially within a margin, very much in the margin of error, equal there. CPK and then Red Baron and Tombstone and DiGiorno. DiGiorno is even more out ahead than the other one. So. But like I said, I will be releasing those details tomorrow along with the full detail. So let's go from that to.
So go to menwhoblog.com tomorrow for this breaking great information on your pizzas, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And then I jumped the gun here. I should have asked you guys what you thought was the top national pizza brand. But let's do things in reverse. So Pizza Hut was, and this survey was the same It was not the same number of guys. It was not the same guys, but the same survey structure. 1,000 people. We had 932 respondents. Pizza Hut, again, way outside the margin of error. 25.5% of the people said that was their favorite national pizza brand. Domino's at 20.2, Papa John's at 19.5, Little Caesars at 11.4, California Pizza Kitchen at 9.3, Papa Murphy's at 9, and Marco's at 5.1. And I was really shocked that Papa Murphy's scored that high.
Where's Papa Murphy's out of?
It's pretty much everywhere except for in California, it looks like.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. So
No, same.
It's I think they might be based in Seattle or somewhere in the Northeast or the Northwest, but they are one of the top national pizza chains.
I looked them up, and it looks like maybe they were in Oregon because they have tons of locations in tiny, tiny little towns in Oregon that you never heard of. So I just kind of assumed that's probably where their base is.
Yeah. The interesting thing on here is that Papa John's has a very distorted popularity. Nationally, they scored very, very well, but in certain regions, they didn't score as well as others. But let's go around the horn, guy. What were you guys? Rick, you can kind of do the same order. What would be your pick for the favorite national pizza brand?
Oh, I honestly thought Papa John's possibly. I really did, but
and by the way,
first I didn't think Pizza Hut. To be completely honest with you, that wasn't even in my mind. I thought Pizza Hut literally is like kind of going.
yeah, I mean, I personally, I really do prefer Papa John's. I think it's great. We don't have one near us here. I wasn't surprised by Pizza Hut, though, because we have Pizza Huts pretty much in all the smaller towns here in Texas. I mean, they had all in California. Everywhere I've lived, there's always been Pizza Huts. I think just distribution-wise, they're just kind of everywhere. And then Domino's, I'm not surprised because they're also kind of everywhere. Papa John's seem to be a little more spread out in town. So,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's probably just based on locations and number of communities they serve.
Yeah, well, Mike, to that point, like Papa John's or Pizza Hut's actually based in Texas, and my Pizza Hut's my go-to, but like we have literally one within like 30 miles of me, and I make the trip to go get it because I love it. But it's funny when I did a trip with Pizza Hut years and years ago in Texas, and there was like one every like 2-3 miles. It was like just chaos.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Did you eat that growing up, Sujeet? Was Pizza Hut like your?
Yeah, Pizza Hut was a huge thing for us, and I remember, like you said, the salad bars and the video games and all that good stuff. And half day of school, we'd go there with my mom, and good time.
I'll eat ranch dressing. It's the only way I'll eat a salad. Pour the ranch dressing on it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. My bottle of 1800 tequila arrived, so I had to go take care of that.
Huzzah!
I know. Maybe I'll have a shot here in a minute. But I'm surprised Pizza Hut's number one. They do the most advertising, and I'm surprised that Little Caesars is good because I see their ads that pizza looks so like $5 or something for a super large or something crazy. And I assume it's horrible, but it was good to hear you saying that it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I mean, like I said, it's for a pizza that is being baked in front of you. It's good. I mean, but it's not the best in regards to the other ones that are here. I would have thought that Papa John's might have overtook Pizza Hut. I mean, just because of the quality. I think Papa John's pizza is better, in my opinion, than Pizza Hut.
Better ingredients, better pizza.
Yeah, but Pizza Hut's been around longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. When did Pizza Hut start? Papa John started in the mid '80s.
I think the Hut's been around since forever.
50s or 60s, I would assume.
1958.
Okay, so you just looked that up. Yeah, 84 was when Papa John started in Jeffersonville, Indiana. And I did look up Papa Murphy's, Vancouver, Washington, was where it started.
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So there you go. And that was also well, actually, I don't know when that was.
Well, that's right next to Oregon, so I was close.
You were close. 1984. Looks like it started as Murphy's Pizza. In
I think Papa
1980.
Murphy's is a much better name for it.
So, but yeah, so I wasn't surprised. I mean, I thought that Papa John's might have hit, might have gotten a little bit more, but I guess it depends on the demographics of the people that were filling it out too. Because if it was a younger demographic, I would have guessed that that definitely would have been higher.
Younger demographic is going to the place around the corner that nobody's heard of.
Well, I mean, Papa John's
Hipster pizza.
has done amazing work to situate itself in tons of college towns.
No, that's absolutely true. And like most of the good pizza joints, that if you can get lodged into a college town, like get in there, like it's such easy money. It's insane.
I mean, to be honest, come on. We have to be honest here. The best pizza places are the pizza places that are not nationally known.
No, sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean our favorite local place is a place called Mr. G's. It's just owned by a Mr. G who makes great pizzas, and that's our go-to when we go out to order pizza.
I go to Gianni's. It's owned by Gianni.
If I go to a place called Brent's, I mean, if I want to spend money on pizza, there's a place right in town called Brent's. It's thick crust, more toppings than you could ever imagine.
Are you willing to spend a little bit more extra money for a really good pie?
Yes.
I am too.
Every once in a while.
And see,
not
me,
all the time, because when you have kids, you have to buy a ton of them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Darren has I think 16 kids or some crazy. It might only be 6, but the picture of him carrying out like 8 pies from the store, at a certain extent, like, yeah, my wife and I can afford to buy a $20 pizza from Marco's, but if you have 6 kids, then I mean 6 times 20 is that's a lot of, maybe not every kid's having their own pizza, but my point, it adds
Hey,
up.
for $40 at Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Pizza.
$5 pizzas come out really good.
Chris, what's the pizza that I told you that people are rolling up?
The Jack's.
Yeah, you can get 4 for $10 at Jack's. There you go. You're only paying $20 for Jack's pizzas there.
So what about you, Kevin? What's your pick for the? Or did you already go? And I'm just getting distracted.
James, I like what you got.
Marco's.
I like Marco's. I never liked Papa John's. My friend told me one time, you got to try this Papa John's. The ingredients are so fresh, but I can't stand the dough. No, it's been 10 years. I haven't had it in so long because I didn't like it, because the dough was flat and soggy or whatever. I just didn't like the dough at all. I think I've had it twice. Like I said, at least 10 years ago. It was the last time I had it. But this Marco's is really, really, really good. I would definitely order that again.
Yeah, well, hopefully more people can get it. I would love to be able to have one downtown where I don't have to drive half an hour
exactly.
to get it. But I think that's a testament to how darn good it is.
Well, the ingredients are super fresh, and like I said, the Italian sauce that they have on there has a bit of a spice, so that's their own recipe. It's really, really good. Thanks again for going to pick it up. It's great.
Hey, no problem. And I don't even know how to pronounce that your handle, but yeah, exactly. And I'm not familiar.
That's the truth. That's truth right there.
So you said Blaze Pizza and Basil Pizza.
Blaze,
yeah, Blaze is good.
Blaze, I've not had it. That's LeBron James.
Blaze is really good. I didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. They're in LA.
There's some other ones that are not. I was going to say there's a bunch of other ones that are. They may not be in every state, but they're in a lot of states. So like, there's Jets Pizza, there's Hungry Howie's, there's
Hungry
other
Howie's.
Yeah, I mean, that are not. They may not be in every state, but they offer quality pizza. I mean, I love Jets Pizza, but it's only in like I think 19 states. So
we actually have one Jets in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, and it's good stuff.
Because the Northerners and Midwesterners, they always like one guy will be like, okay, we're going to bring and tap into that market.
And but Blaze Pizza wanted to be on here. LeBron was like, dude, come on, let me on your show. I want to be on the Man Who Blog Tastemaker thing going on. I'm like, sorry, dude, like you might be King James, but your pizza joint's not national yet. It's like, okay, well, I guess you're right.
Well, it's like,
and that totally didn't happen. But
walking into a being like, yeah, give me all this stuff on my pizza. It's awesome. I think that's a really good concept, actually.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. There's a place called let's say pie or something like that up in Del Mar.
Biology.
It's not Pieology. It's hold on, I gotta ask my producer.
Hey, honey.
Let me ask my head writer. 1 second.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's happening down there, Mike, in Texas? What's going on down there? The bars open down there?
Yeah, pretty much everything's open down here. We're pretty much back up and running. There's a few restrictions here and there, but for the most part, there's just wear your mask. And we've got lots of vaccines rolling out. We know a lot of people have gotten their vaccines already, so stuff's moving along pretty good.
Wow.
The place is Urban Pie, and you'd go through and you'd pick stuff that's like super high end ingredients, and it was like this sausage came from this farm, and it used to be a really easy like $10 just load your pizza up, and I got really damn good at loading my pizza up for $10, and they're like, oh sorry, it's now $12, and now it's $15, and but it was a really cool concept, and I think because there is a market for a premium pizza experience. But there's also the market for, just a cheap Jack's, or Tony's, and I say cheap.
Urban Pie when you need one.
It's the pizza industry is pretty diverse, and it's generally pretty high margin unless you do it wrong.
Well, James, you're right, and as a bachelor myself, I can tell you how convenient it is just to, run around the corner to the grocery store, pick up a frozen pizza, shove it in the oven. And, open a couple of beers, and 20 minutes later, the game's on. 20 minutes later, you're sitting there eating. It's not that great, but you can spice it up a little with your own stuff. But it gets it done. It's more than a refueling exercise, so to speak. But, I think if you put some of your own cheese or other stuff on it, the mushrooms, whatever, you can make a decent, $4 or $5 pizza. I think mostly I would go with the pre-made brand, the ones that the store makes, the fresher ones.
The take and bake.
Yeah, exactly. And particularly if a place, if a grocery store has one that they'll make it for you for $10.
That's like the big thing in St. Pete right now. It's the take and bake.
Okay.
Dominic's up in Chicago, which is Safeway, I think. They used to do that really good take and bake too. But I think they kind of sold it as a lost leader. I'm not sure how that works in the age of COVID. That we'd every Friday night we'd go to the grocery store and buy our $5 pizza, or I think it was like $10, but $5 if you bought more than $50 of groceries or something like that. And every Friday we were loading up our cart just to get our free, our $5 pizza.
$45, $50 worth of beer and $5 pizza.
Well, James, you could go on rickontherocks.com and find a wonderful gluten-free pizza crust recipe.
I like how you can't even get that. You can't even promote your own site without laughing about the gluten-free crust.
It's gluten-free, but I just thought it was.
There are some really good gluten-free pizza crusts out there
National
now.
Pizza Day is like February 9th or something. It's National Pizza Day, so yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
No. Good to know.
Well, the Super Bowl's what, the 8th? Is that the day after the Super Bowl?
I think so.
And that's because National Pizza Week was like 2 weeks ago. I think people, I'm a marketer, but I think the marketers are full of crap.
There you go.
So Sujeet, what would be your pick for the top pizza brand?
I'm a Pizza Hut guy, and since we're plugging our sites, if you go on guysgab.com, Pizza Hut actually yesterday just announced a new pizza, Detroit style, and it looks really friggin' good. So I'm going to load it up on Pizza Hut
because that sounds really cool. What is Detroit style?
So
a lot of automotive oil on it.
Well, it actually does have that heritage.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a hybrid between like Chicago and Sicilian. So it's a rectangle. It's thick. I've been wanting to get it for a while because it's in the pizza community, it's been like kind of the hot topic recently. And ironically, I've been to Detroit like 100 times and I've never had it before.
Are you a member of the pizza community?
Of the what? Yeah, I actually am. I'm in a bunch of like Facebook pizza groups and stuff.
Well, awesome. now they shut down Wall Street Bets, he's got to go to the pizza community and close that down.
But yeah, so it looks pretty cool. It's like I think like $12. I'll probably give it a shot this weekend when I've kind of recovered.
I might do that. That sounds really good, actually. Just something different.
So just to let you guys know, the origin of the shape was that Italian immigrants were actually taking the trays they were using at the factory to sort like nuts and bolts and different factory stuff, and they were taking that home and baking it. So that's where the shape came from.
Yeah, I actually mentioned that in my post.
Did you? Okay, well. But I thought that was just kind of a really interesting piece of Americana that you wouldn't normally think unless you started thinking about what they're like. Why that's a weird shape, but Detroit style pizza is really good because the edges of it get nice and crispy. So I might just go to Domino or whatever it is, Pizza Hut, and I might go to Domino's too for that matter. But
I thought they used to, the immigrants, they would take the pizza and the cheese. There was two brothers that started it, and they put it in like a little bag and wrap it up, and the guys would take it to work. Was that part of the liturgy?
I didn't see that part of the story, but anything's possible.
Maybe I dreamed it. Who knows?
Well, here's the
There you go.
ever awesome Guys Gab.
Oh, crap, that looks really good.
And you can see the I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but the edge of it.
Hey, just
And
click it and it'll go big.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There's a she said that
I
joke,
was
but
wondering how that works. That
um,
looks fantastic, man.
yeah, that does look really, really good.
Yeah, I'm down. I mean,
And on that pepperoni one, they said there's 80 slices of pepperoni per pie.
80?
80.
No way.
I dare somebody to pick every piece off.
Well, that's interesting. So
I'll do it.
you'll take one for the team, Rick. I'm sorry. There was only 5.
An interesting video of all time. It'll be great.
Do it on TikTok.
I'll get tens
And-
of I'll
and-
get tens of 20s of followers. It'll be
Well, you know what that's going to end up being one of your ones that go viral.
It will be. It's just the crazy
yeah.
stuff.
When I smoked weed, yeah, that's the one. All of a sudden, I got 900 hits. I was like, seriously, like I was stoned. You took advantage of me.
And then I guess I'll just wrap it up with my my pick. I think as far as those brands, clearly Marco's is my favorite. In case you haven't figured out that I absolutely adore that chain. I think that chain, not only do they do a phenomenal pizza, but they've been around for I'm not sure how many years at this point. But they originated in Toledo, Ohio, where my wife is from, and some
Toledo.
places when they expand, for some reason the Toledo, Ann Arbor, like everybody's got the
Really?
epicenter of the pizza world is in Southwest Michigan, and northwest Ohio. But the thing that's amazing is that she remembers having it when she was growing up, and it was still really good then. And so now you have a pizza chain that has exploded across the country, one of the fastest growing pizza chains, and yet it's still damn good. And that's really remarkable and a testament to how well the franchise system has worked for them. Whereas honestly, like Papa John's, I loved that in college, and I loved it when they were really focused on doing good pizza. And I feel like now it's just pizza. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
What pizza am I getting from Marco's? I just found out there's one about 5 miles away from me.
Oh heck
No,
yeah!
okay.
So we go with the double garlic crust pepperoni usually. But the one that Kevin and I had is just the deluxe. I had the deluxe with the double garlic.
Okay.
But they also have one that we want to try next, which is the Roma, which I think is Italian spices on the crust instead.
All right.
I wanted to try their Hawaiian, see how their chicken was, because it's. I'd rather eat chicken most of the time, and as fresh as these ingredients were, I bet their chicken will be really good.
I've had a lot of pizza from Marco's, and pretty much everything we've had there is good.
All right. I won't do that. And get the Detroit one. I guess I'm going to be eating a lot of pizza.
So Marco's Pizza PR people, Rick on the Rocks is an amazing blogger. His Venmo account is
Tell the Detroit pizza people I'm picking off every piece of pepperoni until I get to 80. God damn it!
but
Sorry, I didn't mean to. Sorry.
and the CMO of Marco's was like, I'm gonna hire that guy. That guy is a cool mother.
Yeah, they're going to hire.
And then like, oh, sorry, he cursed.
They're like, "Can you eat pizza with this dude?" The children started crying when we asked them. We don't think this is going to work out.
But this is honestly what I love about this group and what I love about doing that. I'm so glad that each of you individually really helped kind of pushed things along over the years. It's been a while till everybody got together, but I've really enjoyed this, being able to talk honestly about stuff, about products, and not just sit there and going like, this phone is wonderful. Here's the bullet point features of this phone. It's really nice to be open and honest while being able to show the brands that honestly we can still be open and honest without disparaging them, without feeling like you got to worry about controlling the message, as it were. And so hopefully we can do this again. I know we have lined up with some of you, and I need to figure out how to actually integrate everything together. But we're going to be following this up next month with a chicken sandwich showdown, which there's a lot of new chicken sandwiches that are coming on the market, and the complication was the fact that some of them have already gone off the market because they weren't as good as the marketing department were hoping they were. But certainly you have the folks at Chick-fil-A, or Chick-fil-A, I'm not sure how that's actually pronounced, who are the reigning kings of that market. But their sandwiches is very simple and straightforward, and it's delicious. But then on the other end of the spectrum, we've got guys like Popeyes who are just kicking butt. I mean, that sandwich is a great sandwich. But boom to boom, we have competitors from KFC and Church's Chicken, which, by the way, Sujeet, I had Church's the other week because you made me think about Church's Chicken.
Yeah, how was it?
Don't ever think about Church's fried chicken ever.
You don't like it, or you do like it?
I love it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's the closest to my mother's fried chicken that I've ever had.
Oh, really? Oh.
100%.
Well, I want to come to your mom's house because it was damn good.
Well, she won't be there, but I do have the.
Sorry, that was awkward.
No, I can make it, but no, the church is literally, it's a food that when I eat it, I go, oh my, it's like when I was a kid eating my mom's fried chicken.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, 100%. Love it. And there's actually one about a couple miles away on the corner. So
cool. So if anybody's actually still watching this show, I know we've run a little bit, about 10, 12 minutes long, but if anybody's still watching this, what do you guys want us to do next? What would you guys like to have a showdown? I know I've kind of talked about the chicken sandwich one we got going on. I'd love to do a hot dog showdown, but we'll kind of wrap it up, and we'll go the other way around the clock this time. We'll start with Sujeet. What are some things that you'd like to do a showdown and bring the team together around again?
I think burgers might be kind of cool.
Okay. Kevin?
Well, James, I had to lean back a little to get my pubclub.com logo in here since you took down their names. So, always my motorsports background always got to be branded pubclub.com, where the world goes to party. Thank you. So, therefore, I would like to do beer, booze, tequilas, something like that. Even maybe I think beer might be kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Beer can be fun.
You a big beer guy?
Beer.
I've got something for you.
Yeah, bring it on. I'm jealous. He's like right there in the Super Bowl headquarters.
Or maybe he could be a pub club correspondent for you.
Maybe you could find me a pub clubette down there to walk around in one of my shirts.
There's probably not going to be any women around this year.
Oh, yeah, there will be.
I'm going to show you a piece of. Do you like Great Lakes Brewery?
Never heard of it. James?
Oh my God! How have you not had great? Well, I guess to be fair, you're pretty much isolated here in California, but Great Lakes Brewing has really good stuff.
Great Lakes Brewery is arguably, in my opinion, the best beer that's ever been made.
Wow!
And I have a snifter that they stopped making about 10 years ago. A regular of mine, last bar I ran, gave to me, and it's like one of my prized possessions. Even though I don't drink anymore, I'll drink right out of the snifter. Great Lakes Brewery. It's
the Christmas ale is damn good. I don't know that I would go with the best beer ever.
Oh, dude.
Dude.
Well, here's the thing: is the beer is so subjective, and there's so many different styles. So I mean,
well, and beer's grown so much in the last 20 years from what it just used to be the main brands to all these different microbreweries and home brewers. There's so many options with beer now. I mean, one of my favorites.
Have you ever had an IPA? Have you ever had one of those?
What's that?
A Tanqueray?
IPA.
Oh, an IPA.
I still get that. No, people are like, well, have you ever had an IPA? Yes, beer that you've been shoving in my face for 15 years? Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
Honestly, I'm kind of done with beer. Like, you know, I'll have a Coors Light at a NASCAR race, but
Okay.
Dude, at least get a PBR. If you're gonna go. All
I
the
know
way.
exactly. A Coors Light, make it a Budweiser.
PBR is too hipster. Coors Light at least spent some good money on NASCAR sponsorship. So
Damn those words that just came out of your mouth, James.
If you're gonna do PBR, do some Schlitz.
yeah.
Oh, Schlitz. Schlitz in the old school bottles?
Yeah.
Remember doing Schlitz cans at that hotel up in Milwaukee? or do you not remember? Because I'm not sure I remember much that night either.
No.
Okay. Anyhow, so beer. We'll figure out a way to do beer in a fair way. Because I don't think you can possibly do what's your favorite craft brewery, because that's going to be so regional.
National brands, but also I was thinking as we're talking, a more topical subject will be the seltzers that the beer companies are putting out, because everyone is copying everybody.
Oh,
and that
man. I can't stand seltzer, but that might be a really fun episode to do, because we're not sponsored by anybody.
Michelob, Bud Light has got them now, and Sam Adams has them, and everyone's copying everyone else. Like the beer industry is kind of like the airlines; they all copy one another if successful, and everyone's got a freaking seltzer out now. And it's more topical. I think it'd be more of a modern story, so to speak.
Should we not be negative about it?
Well, I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to bring in a like an Instagram guy, like a super fit, like 20-year-old guy that's like, I only drink this because of the carbs. But anyhow, I think that would be a fun show. So how about you, Mike? What's your pick?
I would say tacos. I mean, you got to do tacos. There's some great, national brands, also some really good regional stuff. So yeah.
Taco John in the house.
Oh, Taco John's! Come on.
I'm not going to eat Taco Bell.
I mean, I will tell you, as a former Californian, I crave Del Taco like regularly.
Del Taco,
and I just miss
really?
Del Taco so much. Yeah, it was like the best thing growing up. Yeah, Del Taco's amazing.
I can't stand fast food.
Del Taco is great. If you've ever been to the Del Taco up in Barstow, like one of the original ones, like that's owned by the original family, like they have these gigantic tacos up there that are amazing.
I don't think anybody has ever talked about Del Taco. Be like, you got to go to this Del Taco.
There's specific Del Taco.
That Del Taco.
It's originally from Yermo. I mean, come on, you love Yermo.
Yeah, but James, you felt like that about Whataburger when I took you to Whataburger for the first time. You're like, what's so great about this place? It's pretty damn good burger.
Whataburger is pretty amazing.
The Whataburger spiced ketchup is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It is incredible. They need to bottle it, sell it. They'd make a fortune.
So I was in the commuter terminal at DFW, and like there was 3 other places there that were serving food. The Whataburger had like 25 people in line. So people were willing to wait their entire thing, and literally people were grabbing it and running to the gate to make sure they got on their plane, because they would rather have Whataburger shoved into a little tiny plane seat than have the whatever that other burger place was and have the time to actually digest their food. So that's a huge testament to Whataburger.
Chris will appreciate this. The last Dad 2.0 was in San Antonio, which is, the home of Whataburger. I think the original Whataburger is in San Antonio, if I remember right. And I took Michael Kaufman and Pat Quinn at 1:45 in the morning.
Oh no!
To the Whataburger, and almost got beat up because Pat wouldn't stop talking.
I was gonna say that I don't know that I would.
He was just like really into it, and there were probably 25, 30 people went in line waiting to get their food. And Kaufman's like, is this really worth it? I'm like, yes. And so we grabbed all of our food, grabbed Patrick Quinn, we go back to the hotel, and we're eating, and literally this is Michael Kaufman. Oh my God. He went nuts. Like he just like faced the burger in like 3 minutes. And the next morning, I was like, "So how you feeling?" He goes, "I threw up the burger, and it was so good coming up."
Oh God!
And that's just the kind of messages that the Whataburger PR person wants to hear.
Exactly
Their brand associated with.
It's even good after I puke.
So Chris, you're gonna. So Chris, what's your pick, or did you already go? I've kind of lost track of this order now.
No, I don't know. You had said earlier about snack food. I mean, one of the things that I think would be kind of interesting would be looking at national brands of tortilla chips
That would be good.
Yeah.
and seeing what's the best, because there's a lot of ones that just aren't that great,
Yeah.
and then there's some that are, in my opinion, really good.
I don't like Tostitos. Gives me a headache.
You're the oldest. You're the oldest hipster I know, Kevin. Because you're like, it's a huge national brand that's making billions of dollars. I don't like it.
Well, what can I tell you?
No, give me the ones that are $2, like
Trader-
every store in America.
The
Like,
Trader
the-
Joe's ones. The Trader Joe's ones are the best.
With the little Mexican lady, the nondescript generic brand that's freaking the bomb. But it's always like $2 versus like Tostitos would be like $6.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like the taco idea, and I also like the hot dog idea.
I think the hot dog idea could be pretty. The other one I was thinking of was maybe doing some clam chowder or best canned soup. Because for better or worse, and mostly for the worse, I've when COVID stuff was really bad and people were talking about the shortages of canned goods, well, I stocked my mother freaking pantry up with canned soup. And I've discovered that Progresso versus Campbell's versus some random brand, they're not all equal, and some are clearly better than others. So
Go to Aldi. Their soup,
that answer could be applied to pretty much everything.
and they have bag soups that are incredible.
It'd be kind of fun.
I make their loaded baked potatoes. It's $2 in a bag, 6 cups of water, Instapot, 7 minutes, dinner.
Why don't we do Why don't we do a quick and easy one? Everybody has Aldi near them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do it.
Do we?
Let's drop the survey aspect. Let's just do a show like our favorite Aldi brand item.
Okay.
I've never heard of the place.
How have you? Oh my God, Kevin!
We have a. What is it? Is it like a Rouse or what is it? I don't even know what it is.
Aldi is the brother of Trader Joe's. So the two German brothers, one brother got Trader Joe's and opened up in the U.S. Aldi is a German chain that has only come to the U.S. like in the last 5 years, 10 years, and it's based out of suburban Chicago.
Store in North America right now.
Yeah. And it's got everything that was good about Trader Joe's, except for it's not pretentious. It's just that.
Not expensive.
Well, I don't think Trader Joe's are pretentious, but anyway.
Oh, Trader Joe's is totally pretentious. But anyhow, in a good way, Mr. Marketing Budget person. But no, okay. So I have some Clancy's potato chips from Aldi right now. That is it is a fried dill pickle and something. You don't know what I'm talking about.
They're awesome.
And it's like the first bite you're like, what the hell am I tasting? And then you're like, okay, Instacart man, I just ordered 4 more.
All right, now you got me interested. But where is it here in San Diego?
It's on your phone. You use Instacart, and about an hour or 2 hours later, that just magically appears on your.
I can't shop online. I need to go there and see stuff. I can't shop online.
Well, you don't have.
That is true, James. Some of the stuff you've got to see. You've got to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I got to know.
Well, no, I haven't gone to any grocery store since COVID. So, but it's down in National City or something.
Ugh, COVID Central. So maybe I'll wait a couple of months. I can't ride my bike there.
But in all city, they also have pickup from the. You can go do curbside pickup and stuff. We just have a Instacart
Aldi,
subscription.
ALDI?
ALDI, yeah.
Probably locations. Okay. Well, anyway.
Okay,
right.
so anyhow, enough of us just rambling, wandering randomly around. Let's wrap the show up, and then we will be back with something coming up. If you guys have ideas, feel free to let us know. If you guys completely hated this show, then let us know that too, because we'll just put ourselves to bed.
How about Super Bowl picks before we go?
referees?
I don't
What
watch football, so I couldn't tell you.
What, really?
Downtown St. Petersburg. What do you think?
You got all right, so much for that. Because pizza ties in.
I'm a Bears fan, but I'm gonna root for the Bucks.
Oh, okay.
I-
All right.
I would root for the Bucks too, just because
I'm a huge Gronkowski fan. I know he comes off like a douche. I love the guy. Love the career. I love the year that he had. It was incredible.
I was hoping for Green Bay or the Bills, and I lost both those. The good thing about Kansas City is they've got good barbecue.
Yes, and Patrick Mahomes still has like 13 concussions, and they're still letting him play. So
Yeah, well. Okay, well, enough of that show. See you guys later.
All right, we'll see you.